The phrases standing on business and being strict AF are honestly two of the best phrases I've heard in quite some time. And honestly, if I do say so myself, I'd like to call myself, I don't know, I feel like I'm the self proclaimed Mrs. Strict, president of the Strict Club. I always stand on business. And honestly, I probably do it a little bit too much. I probably take it a little too far. But it's okay, because let me tell you guys, nothing, and I mean nothing, is more powerful. Follow me. Nothing will make people respect you more than having clear boundaries that you actually keep. Heavy on the actually keeping part. The more strict you are, the better. People know not to play with you, people know not to fuck with you. It's important. It's just so important to love yourself so much that you will allow nothing or no one to mess with you or disturb your peace. To stand on business really shows people that you mean what you say and you say what you mean. And this can apply in all different situations in different parts of your life. So whether it's romantic or just platonic, even professionally, you can stand on business and be strict AF with your boundaries. Okay. So I know that, it's very common. A lot of us suffer from, people pleasing tendencies, rightfully so. I get it. It's important for all of us to feel like we fit in, that we're well liked. We don't want to ruffle any feathers. No one likes conflict. I mean, actually, some people do, but I know for myself, I don't like conflict either. We all just want to keep the peace. And oftentimes, we're scared to implement our boundaries out of fear, like fear that we will cause conflict, or better yet, even just push people away. But here's the thing. If your boundaries, and hear me out, yes, they have to be reasonable boundaries, right? Some people have boundaries that are just like a coping mechanism and like they're just in defense mode. Oh, I'm triggered because I feel like that kind of hits home a little bit. But no, when you have reasonable boundaries, if your boundaries push someone away, I promise you that is not the person that you want in your life, all right? To stand on business means you're willing to walk away no matter what. I think it's important to be strict AF no matter how it looks to others. Because, a lot of people may disagree with you, right? Like, a lot of people might disagree with this video, like people will say things to you like, oh, that's not fair. Give people a few chances. People might not know any better. They had good intention. They don't deserve to get cut off at the very first offense. Like, hear me out. President of the Strict Club here, babes. Yes, I do agree with all those things to a certain extent, but I also feel like people and their values, like they're all different. And the way someone behaves and how someone treats you says a lot about who they are as a person and their values. And if they don't align, it's just not compatible, right? And it's important to stay true to those values that you have and those boundaries that you have for yourself. Like, again, if someone is behaving in a way that shows you their character and it's not something you really want in your life or something you feel safe around, clip, we got to get rid of it, babes. I think we've all been in situations, where we've given people the benefit of the doubt and it was a big mistake. Okay. This is where that intuition comes in. Okay. Being strict and standing on business is when you have those intuitive gut feelings or, actions are made that really make you raise a brow. And, while standing on business, you have to really act on it. Okay. And you have to say, this is not acceptable. Okay. But Lisa, how do we start? All right. First, you want to start by getting clear on your boundaries for any and all situations. Literally write them down. How do you want to be treated by your friends, your loved ones, someone you just started dating or talking to, whoever you're interested in, even your boss, your coworkers? Write down some non-negotiables. Those habits or behaviors that just like give you the ick or just make you feel uncomfortable or just are just plain unacceptable for you and your values, right? Like if you have strong values about how you want to be treated by a friend or how you want to be courted in the early dating stages, like there's nothing wrong with that. For example, I saw this trending thread on Twitter and it was called Strict Babe 101. with rules of how to be like super strict in a dating situation. Some of the rules were like, no Netflix and chill on the first date, or like if you're 30 minutes late to a date, without any like reasonable excuse, like I'm leaving. And they had obviously more serious things, situations where like people are just feeling unsafe, or if they're spoken to in a derogatory manner, just red flags that really just come up in the early stages of dating. And I loved that thread. I thought it was amazing. But these are the rules that you have to craft for yourself on what's acceptable for you and how you want to be treated, okay? And I think that's the really crucial part about standing on business, is that you can't stand on business from a place of other people's rules and values and motives. It has to really come from a place that's true for you, because you're not going to stand on business if you're just hearing what everyone else has to say, right? Like if you saw a TikTok video with all these rules of dating, if you can't stand on business if you're just going off of what you've heard, it has to be something that's really important for you, because you're not going to stand on business just because someone in a TikTok told you to, right? But I think that as long as it's a true non-negotiable for you, that's what I'm saying, write them down. You have to act on it. And like, is it strict, right? It is strict to distance yourself from a friend who had like repeated behaviors that upset you. Yes, it is. But that's okay. Is it strict to no longer like work with a company, a therapist, a coworker if you don't like how they move or how they treat you in that professional environment? Yes, it is. It's mad strict. That's fine. Does having rules early on in dating seem strict? Yes. And that's the whole point. We teach people how to treat us. And let me be clear again, I want to be so clear that being strict and standing on business does not always have to be like this mean, harsh, negative way, right? Like think about maybe growing up and you had like an old school teacher or a principal that you might have had that was like super strict with their rules, right? But they were still like a really awesome, fun, amazing teacher that you admired and learned a lot from. You probably respected the hell out of that teacher, right? Even though they had crazy strict rules, you were like, all right, well, I understand it. I'm going to respect them. I'm going to be good in their class because I actually respect this person and their strict rules. Is it clicking now? That's exactly how we should be treating people in our real life. It's like if you have those clear defined rules and boundaries for yourself, people will act accordingly. And the people who don't are not the people you want to be around. Period. All right? Okay, so then the next step, once that's clearly defined for you, right? Whenever we do feel mistreated or disrespected, the very next step is that there always needs to be clear consequences. So this is where it can get pretty tricky, right? Because I don't really believe in like ghosting or anything like that. But I think that it's important that you communicate. If it's the first strike, right? I think it's fair to give, it's not even really giving a chance, but kind of giving that warning, right? Just communicating that that's not something you will tolerate. Which again, so in appropriate cases, this gives room for that person to change their behavior with you and to like establish, okay, this is a clear boundary for this person. So just make it clear that this action or a boundary that is crossed, like it can't happen again, or there will be a severance in the relationship. So once that boundary is really clear, then if those rules or boundaries are again crossed after it was clearly communicated, the consequence must be put in place immediately and indefinitely, okay? This is how you stand on business. Me personally, I love a good mute button. I love a good block button, all right? You just have to move on. Like, you can't text him back, babes. If he's treating you poorly, stop texting. Stop making effort. Pull back your energy because you deserve to be respected. That's what standing on business is. Standing on business is not picking up the call when he calls back, being like, oh, I'm sorry, I messed up for the 17th time. You have to stand on business because once, ooh, I'm about to start preaching. Because once a person knows that they can cross your boundaries over and over again, they lose that respect for you. they know, they're like, oh, this person's never going to stand on business. They're super lenient with me. They're not strict at all. I can keep messing up and they're always going to take me back. Girl. And you going to look like Boo Boo the Fool every single time. Don't do it. Stand on business. Being strict and standing on business is really just a fun way of saying that we love and respect and value ourselves, okay? We don't allow people to treat us poorly or any old way that they please. I promise you your relationships will change when you stand firm and don't allow yourself to be crossed. It's scary. Like, it's very scary. It's a lonely road. And I'll make another video about loneliness and isolation. Like, trust me, I will. I know that it's super scary, but it's really important to just keep weeding out the wrong people. And it'll save you so much heartache when you stand firm in what you believe in and how you want to be treated. The right people will treat you how you want to be treated. They will respect your boundaries and you will have such better relationships in your life. But you have to stand on business, period. And I know from my recovering people pleasers, this will really be a game changer. I'm not saying it's easy, but it will literally change your life. And you will be so happy with the improvement of the relationships that you have and, getting rid of the ones that just don't serve you anymore. And again, it doesn't have to be this crazy thing. It doesn't have to lead to a lot of conflict or drama, but it's important for yourself, your self-worth, your self-esteem, your self-love to stand on business and be strict with your rules, boundaries, and values with anyone that you have in your life. All right, you guys, my name is Lisa. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Help me out, please, by, clicking the subscribe button. If you guys want to see more of my videos, my social media will be linked down below if you want to continue the conversation. And gotta plug myself. I also have a monthly community circle called Rant and Release, kind of similar to what I do on this channel, where we all connect and get vulnerable discussing topics just like this. And I'd love for you to be a part of it. All right. Okay, guys. Bye. See you next time.